What's up, guys? How's it going? So, I wasn't sure whether or not to make one for myself. This isn't really a story about me necessarily. It pertains to the league a little bit more. A lot of the stories I told have me in them already, so they're stories of my life already. So, what I wanted to talk about today was how the league even started. Because it's kind of, and honestly, I should have done probably some content about league history. I actually still have like the 7-page document of an IM chat between Jeff and I, but a lot of people actually don't know the story about how the league started. So I'm going to take this little opportunity to tell you that story. So, as a college, or I guess as a high school senior, I had no idea what I wanted to do out of college or going into college. I had no idea. That's who I was. I didn't know. And so I decided that the best route for me was to start by going to Washtenaw Community College. And then hopefully I could get my general stuff figured out, and hopefully within a year or two I could get my life figured out, and then I go to Eastern, or then I go to where I need to go. Eventually it was Eastern in my case, obviously. And that actually, if you got kids, that plan worked very well for me, and it's highly recommended. But so I remember being at Washtenaw when this actually all cultivated in my mind. The way it went down was I in between classes, I'm actually a very introverted individual, despite all that you see here. It doesn't make any sense, right? I'm actually very introverted, so in between classes, I would go like chill in my car till the next class. Usually they're hours apart, so I would just hang out and listen to sports radio and have lunch. It's probably a loser or whatever, it doesn't matter, I don't really care. But what happened was, I remember just getting out of science class, or I was in science class, and I was thinking about this fantasy football league that me, Jeff, and my dad, and Scott Graydon, it was Scott Graydon's league. And the way this league worked was you got to keep 2 people every year, which is great. And the way it worked is if you kept a person, then you gave up your first round pick. If you kept 2 people, you gave up your first and second round pick. So I joined this league like in its 6th or 7th year of it running. And at the time, when I required my team, I had, wasn't AJ, Ahmad Green, and Chad Johnson. His name was actually Chad Johnson then. And they were not really first or second round guys. Somebody had LaDainian Tomlinson and Priest Holmes, or whoever the Chiefs' good running back was at the time. Some other guy had like the 3rd and 7th best player, and I was always stuck with having to decide if I'm going to keep like the 2 worst players in the second round every single year. And it was like, it always made sense theoretically to keep them, because if I gave them up, I would just most likely be taking them again anyway. So a guy had the first 2 best players in the league, and I had like the let me think, second round, so I had like the 28th and 29th best players, while other people had 2 players better than those. Hopefully that makes sense. Essentially, I had the last 2 picks in the second round. It was brutal. And so we went through this league a few times, and I was thinking in my car, like, how much I hate that. It's so stupid. You have no chance. You can't, like, somebody took Reggie Bush one year trying to, like, hopefully he'll, like, take off and give me my keeper. But, like, that doesn't work like that in football. You can't just, like, unless it's a quarterback who goes absolutely insane, it didn't make sense. The league made no sense. So I was sitting in my car just thinking about how that made no sense. And then in my head, I was like, man, you should rather have to keep everybody, or you should get to keep nobody. What's the point in keeping 2 people and just, you have no chance of ever getting better? And I started to simmer on that, and I was like in baseball, if you had a league where you got to like have contract extensions, and like you got to like keep players, and like you kept everybody, and you could extend them if you wanted, and da-da-da-da-da. And I remember texting Jeff about that, and he was like, I was the idea man, and he was like the pound it, baby, yeah, let's figure this out. I love it, let's do it. And so that night, that's when that long text string that I have got going was, back and forth, like, how are we going to make this work? Initially, we were talking about the, what is the quote? Oh, man, I'm going to blank on the quote right now. That sucks. The sheet, what is it? That sheet we had about, the formula. The ratios. It's all about the ratios. Yes, that's what it was called. We had this big ranking of, like, how you make these things work with contracts, and in hindsight, it made absolutely no sense based on what we do today. But back then, it was like revolutionary, and we used it for the first like 20 guys, and then we changed mid-draft to an auction league straight up. I don't know why it never really came to us, but it just didn't. And it's all about the ratios. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, maybe I'll have to do with a little something about that doc and what the ratios were. But we got going into this, like, we could do this for baseball. We could have an all-keepers league, basically. We'll figure out extensions, we'll figure out years, we'll figure out how to get guys money and years at the same time, and you can kind of retain people and prospects, and it just snowballed from there. And it's funny how it all snowballed based on Scott Graydon's fantasy football league that I hated so much because I had no chance to win. I wanted a league where even if you were bad, you always had a chance to come back in future years and win. And I feel like we were able to accomplish this, and I feel like this league is easily one of the best leagues that exists in the world. And I couldn't have done any of this without any of you. Jeff really driving this home, really pushing me to make it a thing. I have ideas, but I won't push them. Thanks to all of you guys for loyalty to the league. I mean, we got guys flying from California. We got Chad coming from Colorado. We got Stevens from Kentucky, Vinny and Weist, California. I mean, we got people traveling to come back for this league. We got the 2020 that was absolutely nuts, and we did it because we're bonded together, and I appreciate all of you guys. And this is I can't imagine a baseball league that's any more fun than this. A league where you put out 15, 16, 20 odd videos on YouTube dedicated to a league is stupid. I mean, what league, what ESPN random league are you doing this for? None of them. I don't even care. I don't care if I win. I want to perform well, but you guys are what makes it fun, and I really enjoy having all of you in this league. And that's kind of a little bit of the history of it. Maybe I'll do one about the ratios. Maybe I'll put some of that history together or something, but that's how it all started, and hopefully it doesn't end anytime soon.